1993. The head of the largest tribe in the country, the Navajo Nation, is calling for his tribe to support the death penalty on their lands. President Albert Hale says the murder of 4 children on their lands has prompted his move to get the Navajo legislature to approve capital punishment. The move is necessary for federal authorities to legally proceed with such a case. In Oklahoma, local tribes and the state are working out a new health care deal for Native Americans. A program called Sooner Care, a managed health provider, will accept Native patients eligible for Medicare or service at an Indian health service facility. Eligible Natives may use their regular health care provider or see a doctor under the new Sooner Care program. In Alaska, natives of the Seward Peninsula in northwest Alaska were happily surprised by a change in the migratory patterns of a large part of the western Arctic herd of caribou. The western Arctic herd is composed of an estimated 450,000 animals, and about 80,000 of them are heading west, where Inupiat hunters have not seen the animals for more than 125 years. Experts say the change in herd movement may be due to overgrazing of the herd's habitat on the Yukon River. Hunters are welcoming the movement since residents are allowed to take up to 5 animals per day. We'd like to thank those of you who have begun sending us your news and information. We'll tell you how to do it, and then I'll be right back with more Native news across the nation.
Contact Heartbeat Alaska with your news. Heartbeat Alaska, 5861 Arctic Boulevard, Unit B, Anchorage, Alaska, 99518. That's Heartbeat Alaska, 5861 Arctic Boulevard, Unit B, Anchorage, Alaska, 99518. Or give us a call at 1-907-563-7440 or fax us at 1-907-563-9309. Heartbeat Alaska, your news is our news.
The little-known Louisiana Chitimacha tribe is planning to put a roof over some of its tribal members' heads. The plan is to build a 1,300-unit planned housing community for those tribal members, but since the complex is planned to be built on lands that are not part of the reservation, it'll be subject to state and parish regulations. Another small, almost forgotten tribe, this time in Texas, is going to also see some federal payback. The Alabama Coushatta tribe is entitled to millions of dollars for illegal land seizures. The tribe lost millions of acres in the Big Thicket region of Texas. The U.S. Court of Claims will determine the size of the compensation, but as with other native land claim settlements, it's likely to take months or years before the tribe sees any money. This past week has been the 5th annual gathering of Indigenous writers from the U.S. and Canada. The Returning the Gift Native Writers Festival was held this year in Penticton, British Columbia. The festival bills itself as the largest convention of Native writers and encourages contacts between them. And finally, the Makah tribe from the western tip of Washington state is decided to hold off its efforts to revive its tradition of hunting gray whales, that is for now. After international opposition shelved an earlier proposal, the tribe has decided to wait until 1997 to try again. It's been 70 years since the last Makah whaling party went out to hunt, and the tribe is the only one with a specific treaty right to such activities. This is Native News Across the Nation. I'm Gary Fife, and back to Jeannie and more Heartbeat Alaska.
Attended this year's Native American Film Festival, a venue and award ceremony recognizing contributions by Native Americans to the film industry.
It was probably one of the many poignant moments for Navajo Code Talker Sam So. after a special screening of War Code, a documentary on a secret military operation that relied on the Navajo language. Sam So was asked by an Anglo audience here how he dealt with racism.
So responded that he was so absorbed in his responsibility as a soldier to notice. Then paused for the irony of the question to sink in before adding that for him, racism hasn't died. His people, the Navajos, he says, continues to exist as the poorest in this country, a 21st century concentration camp, he says, in reference to the Navajo reservation. War Code, directed by Lena Carr and Amy Ray for the National Geographic, is a 19-minute film on how the Navajo language helped ensure victory for the United States at the bloody Battle of Iwo Jima during World War II.
This is Lena Carr's fourth documentary. She is Navajo, and just this week we learned that War Code has been nominated for the prestigious Emmy Awards this year. For Heartbeat Alaska, I'm Eve Little in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Heartbeat Alaska has since learned that Lena Carr did indeed win an Emmy for outstanding historical programming. President of the Navajo Nation, Albert Hale, says this is an example of long overdue recognition for the Navajo Code Talkers' contribution to the American world history. Back up north, last week we visited Kongiganak, Alaska, and witnessed their efforts to control environmental pollution in their village. This week we visit the citizens of Kongiganak and their efforts to preserve their culture. The youth of Kongiganak learn early. Most speak their native tongue, Yupik, at home, then attend school, which is taught in Yupik up until the 4th grade. Kongiganak is a village of about 330 people. It's located about 70 miles southwest of Bethel, about 475 miles west of Anchorage, on the west side of Kuskokwim Bay. The people of Kongiganak live a subsistence lifestyle. They also commercial fish or have other seasonal jobs. Last week, we saw how they are taking measures to protect their environment. There are no flush toilets or running water in the village, except at the Dick Kayuna Memorial School, where recently preparation was underway for a potluck, the final activity after a full week dedicated to teaching youth traditional skills. The food for the potluck was caught and prepared by the students. There were tomcods, tomcod liver and eggs, mouse food akuduk, and tundra tea. The people of the community brought caribou soup, salted fish, and dry fish. All 113 kindergarten through 12th grade students were immersed in the teaching of skills. The kindergarten through 3rd grade girls' activities including sewing, beading, and Eskimo Olympics. The students learned about traditional clothing and foods. The 4th through 6th grade girls made dolls for the project. The 7th through 9th grade girls helped the elderly people in the village with their house chores. The 10th through 12th grade girls received information and instruction on native foods and nutrition, on marriage and family life, and parenting skills. They also cleaned up the church as a service to the community. The boys had their own activities too. The kindergarten through 4th grade boys tomcod fished. They had fun tying knots and learning Yupik color names. The boys, too, helped the elders with chores. The 9th through 12th grade boys learned bush village life skills. They stored out-of-season gears and hauled up boats from the freezing river. They observed the weather and learned survival skills. They set blackfish traps and went tomcod fishing. Kongiganak, Alaska may seem quiet, remote to the rest of us, and that's fine with them. They're busy, teaching their young what they know best, their culture, skills they need to live in the bush. We're off to even further north, to northwestern Alaska. Reindeer herding was introduced in the area not too long ago, and today it's a way of life and a living.
Northwest Alaska, this part of the Great Land, is one of the cleanest places on Earth. Until 12,000 years ago, no humans lived on the North American continent. Not far from here, scientists think the first human beings arrived, crossing a land bridge from Asia. These may be the descendants of those first settlers. They are Inupiaq Eskimos. The Inupiaq Eskimos maintain their traditions by hunting whale, walrus, and other sea mammals.
I'd like to call this meeting to order. We've got quite an agenda, and I'm glad
They also own and operate their businesses. They have two goals: preserve tradition and make a fair profit. One business that combines traditional wisdom and modern business skills is reindeer herding, which produces reindeer meat and reindeer velvet horn. Reindeer were introduced in 1891 as a food source. In these early days of reindeer herding, one of the most famous herders was a woman named Sinrock Mary. She's remembered for her generosity and for building one of the area's largest reindeer herds. Still a legend, Mary's work influences the herders of today. Like Faye Ongtowasruk, who runs a business with her sons and daughters.
My children grew up with the reindeer. All of them help out since they were small.
Every year, the herders get together to talk about changes in the world market for reindeer meat and velvet horn. There are 17 separate herds in the region. 15 are privately owned, and 2 are owned by village corporations.
as far as managing animals. So,
Reindeer herding in Alaska is often a family business that allows parents to pass along important cultural values, as well as advice on how to produce quality products at fair prices. One of the herders and business owners is Donny Olsen. He's also a practicing physician and owns a helicopter business that helps other owners herd their animals during the horn harvesting season.
When you're out there herding animals, you get to know them by individual animals.
Fred Goodhope spends a lot of time with his animals winter and summer. Combined with a clean environment, the result of this attention is healthier reindeer with bigger horns.
And then we also watch snow conditions. We try to bring our animals to where there's less snow so they won't have to dig as hard to get at their food. And this forage is all natural foraging, so we like to say that we have real healthy animals where we're at from our area.
The herders are committed to delivering to their customers the highest quality meat and velvet horn products. Quality starts with a clean environment and natural food, especially wild flowers and lichen found on the tundra. This natural food is superior to the factory food given to farmed deer. Nome, Alaska is home to the Reindeer Herders Association and the commercial center of Alaska's reindeer country. It's also the finish line for the 1,200-mile Iditarod sled dog race. The herders have formed an association which in part monitors quality standards and markets products worldwide. Buyers are welcome to call or visit the office here in Nome. Rose Atuk Fosdick is program director for the Kowarek Reindeer Herders Association.
Having talked to a number of buyers, I know that they're real interested in quality products, chemical-free and natural environment. And so those are three things that we can offer. There's no problem there. The reindeer are free-ranging, there's no chemicals involved, and they're healthy, and the products are well taken care of.
As a herder, one must be able to take care of his animals, and his animals will in turn take care of him in the long run. That's what my uncle and my father always stressed to me.
Some of the owners of reindeer now, currently, they are sons or daughters of reindeer herders, and they're really proud of what they're doing, and because they do a good job. So reindeer being out in the natural, open environment and being free roaming, it fits right in with what we've done for thousands of years.
For more information on this video, Tradition and Quality, the Alaska Reindeer Story, contact Kawaruk Incorporated. We only aired a part, and they'll be able to furnish the rest to you. It's a very interesting, fascinating story, Reindeer of the North. Recently, I received a call from the North, from Tulaksak, Alaska. They haven't received Heartbeat Alaska for quite a long time due to equipment failure. So we'll be sharing Heartbeat Alaska every week with them by sending them a tape. And if you know someone or some village that doesn't receive Heartbeat Alaska, call us and we'll send a tape to them that they can share with all the villagers. Tulaksak said they missed us, and they also missed this group, internationally known and loved, Kashtin.
Disputat! Daarheen, mijn lieutenant, disputat. Wie voorheen? En go! Wie doet met dat? En we gaan, we zijn net voorspel.
I've been an Alaska Native elder for many years and as such have taught my people many valuable things. But the most important thing I ever learned came from my 6-year-old granddaughter as she sat on my lap one day. She looked up at me and asked me why I drank. She said it scared her when I got drunk. She asked me if she would have to drink when she got to be an elder. At that moment, I saw myself in her eyes and I became ashamed. I knew the other children in the village probably saw me as she did. I got help and regained my pride. I cherish the day I learned to see the world through the eyes of a child.
This message brought to you by the Anchorage Service Unit members and Indian Health Service.
Thank you so much for joining us for Heartbeat Alaska, and thank you, Margaret Active, for your video from Kongiganak, Alaska, and Quark Incorporated. Thank you once again. I'd like to invite all school administrators across Canada and America to really encourage their students to get video into Heartbeat Alaska. We really love seeing them and sharing them with our viewers. Thanks for joining us once again for Native News and Native Entertainment. I'm Jeannie Green. God bless you. Have a safe week. And remember, life is abundant and you are truly special. We'll see you next week.
Down in Montana, it's powwow in the summer. It's time to hit the powwow trail. Going down a Hardin, down to the Crow Fair. 1,000 fancy dancers from the 4 directions raise the dust from dusk till dawn. Powwow all week long down at the Crow Fair. Crow Fair, there's all night. Crow Fair, what a sight. Crow Fair, beat your drums. Crow Fair, sing your songs down at the Crow Fair. Competition dancers, girls in jingle dresses, reminds me of the good old days. Take me back in time, down to the Crow Fair. Indian revival, cultural survival, hanging on to Indian ways. It's good to be down at the Crow Fair. Crow Fair, dance all night. Crow Fair, what a sight. Crow Fair, beat your drums. Crow Fair, sing your songs down at the Crow Fair. Crow Fair, dance all night.